So the major objective is to actually convert any recurring decimal to a fraction and show that a particular recurring decimal number can be shown that it's a rational number. Now, firstly, what exactly is a recurring decimal and what do these symbols represent? So now when you talk about point 6 dot on the top means that this is equivalent to writing 0.6666 up till um, infinity. So instead of writing this, and if you see the dot on the top of a number, it means that that number has been repeated afterwards. Now, similarly, like let's say if I'm talking about zero point 0.4 and the dot. Now, zero point 0.4 and the dot means it's 0.4444444 and so on. Now, when I talk about point, let's say 43, and you see the dot on both of them, so 0.43 and two dots means it is 0.43, 43, 43, and so on. When you see the dots on, let's say all three of them here, so it means that it is 0.134, 134, 134, and so on. So this is just the decoding of the dot on the top. Similarly, if you have, let's say, 0.25 dot here. So let's say 0.25 and dot is only on 5. Now, what does this mean is that zero point 0.2 and then after that 5 is recurring. After that 5 is recurring. So this is the meaning of this part. Now, when I talk about, let's say, 0.61 and 7, so you see that 0.61 and 7 dot, this means that it is 0.6171717 and so on and so forth. Let's take the first question, which is converting 0.66 into what we say is the fraction. So firstly, what we do is, let's say zero point 0.6, zero point 0.6 recurring. Let's say this value is x. Assume that this value is x. Okay, so this, what we do is we write down till infinite decimals. Now, our first objective is that if I wanted to make use of the algebraic approach, what we got to do is we got to make sure that we multiply these numbers. Like, for example, if my x is 0.666 and so on, what I do is I multiply, let's say by 10, by 100, or by 1,000, such that my decimal shifts by, let's say, 1 unit or 2 units to the right, and still I get that recurring number. So let's say here, no need to multiply by 1,000 both the sides. What I do is I multiply both the side by 10. So when I multiply both the side by 10, I get is 10x on the left hand side. And if I multiply 10 times 0.6666 and 6 and so on, this becomes 6.6666 and so on. So the reason for doing this is, I'm going to just tell you now, is let's say if my left hand side is 10x, the right hand side I can break this down as 6 plus 0.6666 again recurring. So what we see is that this is nothing but the x. This is what we have got as x. So what we can do is I can write down this as 10x equals to 6 plus x. Now, as a result of this, what we get is, if you bring x to the left-hand side, we get 9x equals to 6. And as a result of this, we get x is 6 over 9, which is 2 over 3. Now, I repeat again, what you try to do is, either you'll multiply by 10, 100, or 1,000, and so on, to get the recurring decimal back again in the place, and try to get one of the integer numbers in front. So like here, I got the integer number 6. And still you can see that 6.6666 can be broken down as 6 plus 0.66. So this part is nothing but x, since we have taken x as 0.66, and we replace this value out here. And what we get is 10x equals to 6 plus x, and we get 9x equals to 6. And then you solve for x, we get 6 over 9. And if you simplify that case, you're gonna get 2 over 3. So the next example is, let's say, 0.4 recurring. Now let's say 0.4 recurring. I can, let's take that this value is x. I whatever the fraction is coming is x. And so I can break this down as, rewrite this as 0.4444 and so on and so forth. Now, what I do is, since you can see only one digit is repeating here or recurring here, what we do is we multiply both the side by 10. So if I do that, I get 10x equals to 4.4444 and so on. So this goes on like this. Now, 10x can be broken, this can be broken down as 4 plus 0.4444 and so on. Now, as we know in the beginning that this part we have taken as x, this part is x, x is 0.44. So instead of 10x, if I take 4 plus x, instead of 0.44, if I take this as x, because that value is nothing but x we have taken in the beginning. So we get 9x. If I bring in this x here, I get 9x is 4 and x is 4 over 9. That's my correct answer. Now let's say I have next question is 0.12 recurring. So 0.12 recurring, you can see that this is not two decimal places are recurring. I can rewrite this as 0.12, 12, 12 and so on. Now when you see the two digits are recurring, in that case you always multiply both the side by 100. So here I'll multiply both the side by 100x. Now if I multiply this side also by 100, what happens is I'll get 12.12, 12, 12, 12 and so on. Now this is obviously you're multiplying by 100, so your decimal shifts to the right by 2 decimal places. And now this part I can break down 12.1212, we can break down as 12 plus 0.12, 12, 12 and so on. And we already have defined that let x value 0.1212 and so on. So what we get is 100x equals to 12 plus x. And if I bring in this x to the left side, we get 100x minus x equals to 12, which means 99x is 12. So
12 upon 99.
So 12 over 99, which becomes, basically you can take 4 over 33. So that's your writing 0.12 as the fraction. So let's say in this question, what we have is, let's say 0.43 recurring. So this means that, let's say I take this as x, which will be 0.434343 and so on. So what happened is that if I multiply, since you can see that the two digits are recurring, so I will multiply both the side by 100. So 100x is going to be equals to 43.434343 and so on. So now if I take this as 100x equals to 43 plus 0.434343 and so on. So we get 100x equals to 43 plus x. Now since we know that this x which we have taken is 0.43 recurring, so we get 99x equals to 43 and we get x is 43 over 99. So when you are talking about, let's say 0.134 here, so it's basically 0.134, 134, 134 and so on. So if three decimals are recurring, we multiply both the side by 1000x basically. So 1000 time means you multiply both the side by 1000 here. So you get 1000 times x equals to, if you multiply by 1000, your decimal shifts 3 units to the right. So we get 134 plus 134.134 and so on. And now we can further break down. I'll just write down this decimal correctly here. Yeah. So this can be broken down as 134 plus 0.134, 134, 134 and so on. So 1000x equals to 134 plus x. Now bring this x here to the left, so you get 1000x minus x equals to 134. So you get 999x equals to 134. So we get x equals to 134 over 999. So that's how you do this recurring decimal.